Ever wondered how laws can be as diverse and fascinating as the countries they govern? Laws are more than just rules or guidelines. They're a reflection of a country's culture, history, and societal norms, embodying the essence of what makes each nation unique. Just like the myriad of cultures that paint our world with vibrant diversity, laws too exhibit a similar complexity and variety. From the strictness of Singapore's gum control to the unusual prohibition of high heels in ancient Greek monuments, legal codes can often leave us intrigued and, at times, bemused. They can range from the seemingly absurd to the profoundly insightful, challenging our perspectives and prompting us to question the very fabric of our own societal constructs. So, buckle up. We're about to embark on a global tour, navigating the maze of these intriguing laws. Join us as we dive into some of the most interesting laws from around the globe. Imagine a place where chewing gum could land you in hot water. Welcome to Singapore. Now, you may wonder why such a seemingly innocuous habit is frowned upon in this island nation. Well, let's delve into it. Singapore is known for its cleanliness, and this is no accident. In the early 90s, the Singaporean government was grappling with a sticky problem. Discarded chewing gum was causing all sorts of issues, from vandalizing public spaces to interfering with public transportation. You see, people were sticking used gum on door sensors of mass rapid transit trains, causing disruptions in services. So in 1992, the government decided to ban the import and sale of chewing gum. Yes, you heard it right. The ban was implemented to ensure the cleanliness and orderliness that Singapore is renowned for today. But as with every rule, there are exceptions. In 2004, after negotiations with the United States, Singapore agreed to allow the sale of therapeutic dental and nicotine gums. So, if you're visiting Singapore and can't do without your gum, you might want to switch to these types. Interestingly, while the sale and import of gum are banned, there's no rule against chewing gum in Singapore. So if you've got some gum in your pocket when you land, you're not breaking any laws by chewing it. So if you're planning to visit Singapore, remember to leave your gum at home, or risk facing the wrath of a nation that takes cleanliness very seriously. In Bhutan, lighting up a cigarette could be more trouble than it's worth. This isn't your average no smoking sign, it's a nationwide ban. The Tobacco Control Act, passed in Bhutan in 2010, essentially forbids the sale and production of tobacco across the country. But why such a drastic step, you may ask? Well, it's deeply rooted in Bhutan's cultural and religious beliefs. Considered the last stronghold of Vajrayana Buddhism, Bhutan's laws often reflect its religious commitment. Buddhism preaches respect for life and nature, promoting a clean, pure mind and body. The harmful effects of tobacco thus stand in stark contrast to these teachings. Smoking is seen as a violation of these principles, a defilement of one's body, and a threat to the nation's spiritual health. But there's more to it. Bhutan is a country that measures its success not by gross domestic product, but by gross national happiness. It's a place that puts the well-being of its people and environment first. The tobacco ban aligns with this unique philosophy, aiming to protect the health of its citizens and the purity of its surroundings. However, the law isn't as draconian as it may sound. While selling and producing tobacco is illegal, consumption for personal use is allowed for those who can obtain a permit, ensuring the law respects individual rights while promoting collective well-being. Smoking in Bhutan, it's more like smoke and you're out. But remember, in Bhutan, happiness and health come first. In Greece, your choice of footwear could get you into a sticky situation. Now let's step into this fascinating aspect of Greek law. You see, Greece is a treasure trove of ancient history and architecture. Its historical sites offer a glimpse into the past that's irreplaceable and priceless. To protect these monuments from damage, a peculiar law has been put in place. Wearing high heels is strictly prohibited in certain historical sites. This law might seem unusual, but there's a good reason behind it. High heels, with their pointed pressure, can cause significant damage to the ancient monuments. Over time, this can lead to the degradation and eventual loss of these historical treasures. The Greek government, in its wisdom, decided to protect its cultural heritage by introducing this law. It's a perfect example of how the law can be used to safeguard history and culture. So ladies and gents, when in Greece, opt for comfort over style. Craving some haggis in the US? You might be out of luck. Now, for those unfamiliar with this delicacy, haggis is a traditional Scottish dish. Its preparation involves a sheep's heart, liver, and lungs, all minced and mixed with oats, onions, and spices. This hearty mixture is then stuffed into the animal's stomach and boiled. Sounds appetizing, right? Well, not to everyone. In the United States, this authentic Scottish dish is highly elusive. Why, you ask? It all comes down to food safety regulations. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has some strict rules when it comes to what can and cannot be consumed. Back in the 90s, they decided that sheep's lung, one of the main ingredients in traditional haggis, fell into the latter category. The reasoning behind this is the potential health risk associated with consuming sheep's lung. There's a particular concern about a condition called sheep lungworm disease, which can be transmitted to humans. To avoid this, the USDA made the decision to ban the import and sale of any food product containing sheep's lung. And voila, just like that, traditional haggis was banished from American dining tables. There have been efforts to overturn this ban, but as of now, they've been unsuccessful. So it seems like you'll need to visit Scotland for an authentic haggis experience. Or perhaps you might find a US version of haggis, sans the sheep's lung, to satiate your adventurous palate. We've traveled from Singapore's gum-free streets to Bhutan's smoke-free zones, tread carefully in Greece, and missed out on haggis in the US. Quite a journey it's been, hasn't it? Let's take a moment to look back at the intriguing laws we've explored today. Starting our global expedition in Singapore, we learned how the city-state maintains its spotless reputation, quite literally. The ban on chewing gum, far from being a capricious rule, is in fact a testament to Singapore's commitment to cleanliness and order. Next, we ascended the Himalayas to Bhutan, the only carbon-negative country in the world. We discovered the Tobacco Control Act, a bold and unique law that not only bans the sale of tobacco, but also restricts its use, reinforcing Bhutan's dedication to public health and environmental sustainability. From the peaceful heights of Bhutan, we descended to Greece, a land of ancient wonders and captivating traditions. There we found a surprising law that prohibits wearing high heels in ancient monuments. This unusual rule, we learned, is aimed at preserving these historical sites, a reminder of how laws can serve to protect cultural heritage. Finally, we crossed the Atlantic to the United States, where we were greeted by a peculiar prohibition on haggis, Scotland's national dish. This unusual ban stems from food safety regulations, specifically around the use of sheep's lung, a key ingredient in traditional haggis. What ties all these laws together is the fascinating insight they offer into the cultures, values, and priorities of different nations. As we've seen, laws are more than just rules. They are reflections of societal norms, aspirations, and even fears. And so, as we conclude our journey, let's remember, laws, no matter how peculiar or amusing they may seem, are a crucial part of our global tapestry. They remind us of the diversity of human experience and the many ways we strive to create order, protect our communities, and preserve our cultures. Remember, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, or in this case, obey the laws no matter how peculiar they may seem.